right. Is it worth the upgrade from the iPhone 12 Pro Max to the iPhone 14 Pro Max? That's the ultimate question. There are some huge differences when it comes to these two phones, specifically with the camera and the big hype around the dynamic island, which is a really cool feature, not worth upgrading for if that's like your sole reason to go upgrade, especially at the price point, but a really cool feature nonetheless, and gives you some more screen to view and just aesthetically pleasing, and just, you know, it's fun. It's like dynamic island. First, we got some new cuts. So we got 4 new shirts here. This is a cut shirt right here, especially during this like in-between phase where we have fall and you need just like a long sleeve that looks good, that's comfortable, and it's not overly hot. Now we're getting into winter and they have like some unbelievable sweatshirts like this one right here. This is one of their newer colors, curve hem. This is the sage color. So that blue one you saw is the sky color. Change into these and rock these today on our little shoot. So before we head out and shoot with these different phones and just kind of test them out, I just wanted to go through the side profile. The cameras are much bigger on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. They just bevel a little bit, so they stick out a little bit more. A 48 megapixel camera, so you're definitely getting a lot more out of this camera. Bigger sensors. Some of the biggest differences between these two phones, just in summary, are you have the dynamic island. I got all my notifications, fantasy football, but we got the same phone here. So you have the notch on the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the island, the dynamic island, which you can, so if we're in an app, let's just go into Spotify, let's say, we're gonna start playing some of this, and then we get out, you can see it like starts playing up here. So what you can do is click on it, it'll take you right to that app, or you can long hold on it, I think, maybe, and it gives you some options to play, to stop, to pause, to skip tracks within that app. The iPhone 14 Pro does have a faster Bionic chip. I think it's the A16. Yes, the A16 Bionic chip. It has a higher res 48 megapixel main camera and significant upgrades to all the other cameras, the 2 other cameras, or the 3 other cameras, the front one as well. One of the biggest things when it comes to video content creation, it does have that 4K cinematic mode and the action mode stabilization. So one of the big differences between these two phones is the Bionic chip, which is much better for video processing, the software that comes with capturing better photos, capturing better video. This phone, the iPhone 14 Pro, you are getting the A16, which is 2 steps above the A14 Bionic chip, which is in the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So that in itself is one significant reason to upgrade to the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Another additional feature is the brightness of these two screens. So the 14 can go up to 1600 nits, whereas the 12 can only go up to 1200 nits, which is still great, and you're still gonna be able to see it in sunlight, but just another difference between these two phones. So if you shoot in daylight, it is nice to have that brighter screen. Now, that is gonna drain your battery a little bit more, but it is nice to have that brighter screen if you're shooting in daylight, you're a content creator, trying to see your screen from a little bit further distance away. That's a really great feature that is upgraded in the new phone. When it comes to the two phones' cameras, these 3 cameras, now they both still rock the 3 camera system on the back here. So what I would recommend is if you do get this phone, to get a case, throw a case on. I did end up getting this Pelican case, which I'm gonna throw on after this. But so the wide camera for the iPhone 14 Pro is a 48 megapixel f1.78, 24 millimeter on the 14 Pro Max, versus a 12 megapixel 26 millimeter on the 12 Pro Max. The ultra wide camera is a 12 megapixel on both. Then you have the telephoto camera, which is a 3x zoom on the 14 versus the 2.5x zoom on the 12. Not a huge deal there. And what I would say is, like, a content creator, if you're trying to get the shot, you get the shot. But the less you can zoom in on these phones, the less you're compromising the quality of your shot. So in any case, for whatever it's worth, if you can move the camera as opposed to just zooming in. Just save some quality. One of the other biggest upgrades that I'm pretty excited about, just for content creation in general and like coffee shooting and just kind of your daily vlog shots, is the ability to shoot macro. Now, the iPhone 12 Pro Max did not have that feature. That was an update with the 13 Pro Max. So if you are transitioning, that is another huge feature that you get in the iPhone 14 Pro Max. And it's even enhanced from the 13. So the stabilization with the macro shots is second to none. And it does a really good job of really getting those fine details of any sort of products, any sort of landscapes, plants, whatever you're trying to shoot. You can really punch in and get those detail shots. All right. Nothing like some good Corvus coffee. So we've tested these two phones out side by side. This is the box to send back the 12. So here's the two phones, 12, 14. And what I want to know is down in the comments whether you think it is worth the upgrade from what you've seen. Now, I hope this video has helped bring a little bit more clarity towards making that decision. I mean, that was the ultimate goal with this video, is just to give you some insight on these two phones. Is it worth the upgrade? For me, it was. And as a content creator who uses his phone, it just, like, the perks from the 12 at least are there. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna send this 12 back. I'm gonna stick with the 14, move forward with it, and create some sweet content with this. Plus it's black, which is pretty sweet. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you in the next one.